simultánea en los costados del auditorio. Y ahora, recibamos con un aplauso al Senior Vice President of Global Specialty Sales, Leciejewski.
Good morning. It's so great to be back in Mexico City. And as you heard from Michael in the opening video, we believe that breakthroughs occur at the intersection of human inspiration and technology innovation. And I'm so excited to share with you all this morning the 4 pillars that form the bedrock of our go-forward strategy in how we're helping customers unleash innovation. And they center first around multi-cloud and as a service, which includes both on-prem and off-prem. Next is around the future of work, which of course is hybrid. Third is around the edge, where we're blending traditional and next-generation workloads in the real world that create the next horizon for breakthrough digital services. And lastly, we'll examine modern security frameworks that are built for the multi-cloud world and introduce some new innovations like Zero Trust. So let's get started. First, with multi-cloud innovation. You know, cloud is 15 years old now, and like most things, it has matured and evolved. Public cloud models have scaled to private and hybrid clouds, out to co-location facilities and the edge. And what customers want is the cloud experience, things like simplified provisioning and on-demand access to resources and developer tools, but they want it anywhere. They have apps and data. And that really is our definition of multi-cloud, creating an experience regardless of where organization has apps and data. And we've been unambiguous in this point of view. We always believed that cloud would be an operating model and not a place. We believed that it would never be a single virtual data center in the sky, but rather a connected pool of infrastructure resources solving real problems for customers. And that perspective has become reality, with 76% of customers reporting the use of multi-cloud. And that number is expected to increase to 86% in just the next 2 years. But multi-cloud today, for most customers and organizations, is not much more than multi-contract. A fairly intricate set of silos of data and information, different operational processes, security and governance frameworks that differ, developer pipelines that are a bit obscure, maybe increasing costs where that wasn't the initial objective or onset, and an unexpected lock-in once I've moved to a single cloud offer. If we really look at multi-cloud, we need to create access to all of these resources regardless of location, not just loosely couple private and hybrid clouds together. And if you think about the attributes across each of the respective hyperscalers, many organizations want to access services not from just one, but from 2 or more. If we look at the innovation in modern private cloud, we are delivering unmatched capability around performance, efficiency, and security. The explosion of information out at the edge is screaming for modern cloud-based operating models to make that real. So multi-cloud is quite logical. It's not some temporal bridge, but rather a reasonable arc of infrastructure innovation. And if done right, can be a disruptive architecture that drives business transformation. But multi-cloud has to be made less complex. We have to deliver the cloud experience no matter where organizations have apps and data. We need to move from a world that was multi-cloud by default to a world that is built as multi-cloud by design. And that's what we're working on at Dell Technologies. identifying a core set of horizontal services that begin to connect multiple cloud environments. Services starting with multi-cloud storage, cyber, edge, and security capability. Enabling these horizontal capabilities begin to connect what was separated and siloed data sources and complex operational frameworks. More specifically, we are beginning by enabling all of our software to be deployed and available in all of these locations, the hyperscalers, the private and hybrid cloud environments, colo and edge facilities, and we're bringing our services capability to bring as-a-service cloud experiences wherever apps and data may be deployed. But we're going a step further. We're reaching into the broader ecosystem, and not just an ecosystem built of hyperscalers like Amazon, Azure, and Google, but an ecosystem that includes the cloud stack vendors like VMware and Red Hat, into SaaS providers, IoT providers, and the modern data management players to create a broad environment to enable multi-cloud by design. And lastly, our customers are demanding a more modern consumption and cloud-based experience. And we're helping to deliver this through our Apex, simplifying cloud through as-a-service models, enabling new levels of agility and flexibility, allowing organizations to scale up and scale down, and map technology need to the business demand, all while maintaining the control and trust to minimize risk and maximize performance on their terms. And our multi-cloud innovation agenda is now beginning to crank forward. We've had some incredible announcements with each of the respective hyperscalers. We've brought new announcements with the cloud stack vendors. We've taken our Apex offers and delivered more services in more locations. And this innovation engine is just getting started. I'm very excited to share with you all some of the key things that we are working on moving forward to continue to enable this journey. What I'd originally talked about was this set of common horizontal services to connect distributed or disparate multiple cloud environments. And this is why we're so excited to talk more about our enhancements with Project Alpine. Project Alpine is our focus to enable our industry-leading block, file, and object software capability to be run in all of the major hyperscalers. And in doing so, we're enabling some critical new capability. First, we're enriching the public cloud experience. With those advanced data service capabilities now running within the hyperscalers, we are delivering additional value for those workloads. Secondly, we are connecting the common operational experience and management experience from on-prem and co-located clouds to data resident in public clouds, simplifying the lives of IT operators and administrators in a common skill set and tool framework. And we're enabling the financial levers to be used in this model as well, enabling cloud credits to be able to fund the use of our distributed software in more infrastructure locations. At the end of the day, we believe customers get the best of both worlds. They get the enterprise-class data services they come to expect and rely on from Dell Technologies with the attributes of public cloud, things like infinite scaling and unlimited access to compute and tools resources. A great example of how we're bringing this to life is a recent partnership that we announced with Snowflake. Snowflake's data analytics cloud historically had been reserved for only public cloud resident workload. But in working together, we have enabled large swaths of information living in private clouds and data lakes to be ported up into Snowflake's data analytics cloud. This may be a seemingly simple concept, but in reality, it was incredibly complex for customers. And in working with Snowflake, we've now made this an embedded feature within the storage system. For workloads that may not want to go to public cloud for security, compliance, or control reasons, we have brought Snowflake's data analytics engine onto the on-prem private cloud data lakes managed and run on Dell infrastructure. And with these two critical use cases, we are beginning to break down the silos and barriers between multi-cloud. Paired with the Alpine capability, we are simplifying the multi-cloud landscape, not creating more complexity. This naturally then connects to how we think about the innovation cycle across our core storage portfolio, creating new innovations around software-defined storage, cyber resiliency, and multi-cloud connectivity. And at Dell Technology World, we announced over 500 new features to our industry-leading storage portfolio. And you should expect that from us. As the industry's leading R&D engine for storage and information, we've brought new capabilities across our portfolio. A couple to highlight, starting with PowerStore. We've improved performance by 50%. We've increased max capacity by 66%. We brought new software features like advanced VMware integration, high-performance file, as well as Metro Sync capability. On PowerMax, we integrated a whole new level of cyber resiliency, making it the most secure, mission-critical storage platform on the planet. We've integrated new end-to-end NVMe to deliver next-generation levels of performance, and we've automated most all of the storage administration tasks. And in PowerFlex, our software-defined stack, where customers are consolidating many diverse workloads onto a common infrastructure platform, we've enabled even more capability, allowing the platform to now consolidate file workloads, as well as bringing support for all of the container-based distributions, allowing that to serve more and more as a common platform across our customer base. Now I'd like to transition a moment to some of the innovations we're seeing in hybrid work. And it brings us to the indispensable PC. The PC has always been the workhorse of our workforce. But over the last 2 years, it's become so much more. It has become our telephony, our video conferencing center. It's become our shopping mall. It's our entertainment media. In many aspects, it's our access to the outside world. And in today's incredibly competitive environment for talent, it is a visible sign of a company's commitment to their employees, collaboration, and innovation. And that is why we are so excited about the innovations we are bringing across our client portfolio. A couple of the key things to highlight is the new levels of performance, privacy, collaboration, and sustainability. And in sustainability specifically, we've really focused on enabling a sustainable framework, starting with some of the waste that is coming as an offshoot of carbon fiber aerospace manufacturing. Last year alone, we redirected over 2 million pounds of aerospace carbon fiber waste that was headed to landfills to create the foundation of our client devices. We've also added a ton of new capability across the portfolio, integrating 5G into all of our latitudes, creating awesome new gaming devices like the Alienware X14, building in new software capability to our Dell Optimizer, which allows you to really create a more streamlined work experience with software that adapts to where and how you work. We've pushed the limits of displays, integrating new OLED technology and addressing form factors for virtually any work-from-home environment. And one of the most exciting things that we love to see is when customers take our industry-leading client portfolio and engage with the broader ecosystem of cloud providers, edge environments, and in this example, customers using AI technology in our client devices to stream cardiac patient information from first responders in the field over 5G and LoRaWAN networks into the core hospital where doctors and clinicians can identify the state of the patient and the right triage steps for care prior to their arrival. It's a great real-world example of customers leveraging our client portfolio and the broader environment to drive new innovations, and in this case, potentially save a life. This is what fuels our client portfolio. It's driving the new innovations that allow each of you to create the elements that move human progress forward. Moving on to the edge, and some of the new and exciting use cases that create this blended experience of IT in the real world. It's also where we're seeing a whole lot of new levels of complexity that customers are trying to harness. So the edge is effectively where data is created. If it's in manufacturing, it's in the plant. In retail, it's on the sales floor. In agriculture, it might be out in the field. And in healthcare, it's in the exam room or the ambulance or the X-ray facility. And edge computing is all about acting on data at its point of creation to drive new services and business value. That data might be too large to port back to a public cloud or central data center. It may have performance or latency requirements that require it to be acted on at the point of creation. Or there may be security, privacy, and compliance requirements that really need to be addressed at that point of creation and can't be moved through a large, complex network. Now, the edge is nothing new to Dell Technologies. We've been doing this and helping customers for decades, but delivering IT to a data center is one thing. Delivering IT out into the real world, into the active edge, requires far more capability. Size, scale, supply chain, services, and integration work that we believe Dell Technologies is uniquely positioned to help our customers solve. In fact, we've been shipping billions of dollars of infrastructure to places that are not the core data center for many years. And in order to make the edge real, it begins with a portfolio that enables this capability. A portfolio that enables ruggedized tablets and laptops, high-performance workstations, and unique integrated gateways, servers, storage, and hyper-converged technologies that allow information to be processed at the point of creation. A great example here is the revolution we are observing in the telco space. As organizations move to 5G, they also move to a more software-defined and modern backbone of their network, leveraging Dell Technology compute and edge capability to make the next generation 5G edge a reality. But we're not stopping there. We know that the edge is also a highly vertically integrated space, and we're partnering with some of the biggest players in some key verticals, starting with retail and manufacturing. Those partnerships begin with PTC, Litmus, and Deep North, but you should expect more and more integrated and verticalized edge solutions from us and our broader partner network. The edge is a critical part of the multi-cloud ecosystem, and we believe that most information will either begin or end its journey at the edge. And lastly, a conversation around innovations in modern security. All of this digital transformation is incredible, and it's creating an enormous amount of digital value, but it's also creating an enormous amount of digital risk. And if one thing is certain, it's that the security paradigms we have in place today aren't working that well. Ransomware attacks are rampant. Advanced persistent threats exist. And most customers, maybe rightfully so, feel like something bad could happen that they didn't anticipate at any given time. And the reason is because most of the security frameworks today are built on two core assumptions. The first is that you can own and control your infrastructure. And the second is that you can lock down and secure the network. But in today's multi-cloud world, in many cases, organizations do not own or control the infrastructure. And it's not the network that you're securing. It's this intricate environment of apps and data that run on a multi-cloud topology. So our customers are looking for a strategic partner, one with the technology and people and process, along with the size and scale to help them solve these new challenges from a security perspective so they can innovate more securely. And at Dell Technologies, this is really what we're foundationally focused on. We come from a rich history, starting in our direct origins, listening to customer feedback. And this is how we're beginning to shape our perspective on multi-cloud security. And it starts in three key vectors. First is building this on a foundation of trust. Things like secure component verification, Dell trusted devices, hardware root of trust or hardware attestation, and a secure supply chain. These just become the prerequisites for a modern security framework. Why would you ever build a security framework on unknown or untrusted infrastructure or partners? The second is around creating a North Star centered around zero trust, which is all about getting ahead of the threat, which is really the ultimate goal. And lastly is creating a cyber recovery plan, because even the best laid cybersecurity plans can and likely will fail. And we need to be able to recover in a resilient and reasonable way. One of the areas here we've identified that customers probably need some of the most help with is this North Star of zero trust. And zero trust is an emerging security concept. And what it really centers around is verifying apps, data, users, based on a known good state, looking at their policy process versus just trying to keep out the bad. And it also involves embedding detection capability into the IT infrastructure to identify threats more quickly. Now, Dell Technologies is not going to reinvent zero trust, but we are going to build zero trust into our core platforms. We are going to drive the ecosystem and the industry towards a more secure zero trust future. And we are going to help accelerate your adoption of zero trust frameworks. And this really creates the full picture of how we are going to help customers and what we're going to deliver. Looking at this holistically, from a technology, people, and process standpoint, we are going to solve for data protection. We are going to identify advanced detection capabilities and build cyber resiliency into all of the offers that we create. Now, let's pull the thread a bit more on cyber recovery. After you create the foundation of trust, and after we set zero trust as the North Star, we've got to act and build a resilient cyber recovery plan. And we've announced two key offers at Dell Technology World. First is Dell PowerProtect Cyber Recovery for Microsoft Azure, and second is CyberSense for Dell PowerProtect Cyber Recovery in AWS. Both of these are offering fast, safe, intelligent, and immutable data vaults that can be deployed in the public cloud. Another example of us helping to drive multi-cloud innovation and capability. But we also know that security is a team sport. And it's not just about products and technology. Customers want us to help share in the operational burden as well. And that's why we're applying the power of our Apex capability to the cybersecurity solution. And what we are building is cyber recovery as a Dell-managed, as-a-service outcome, helping customers deploy this far faster, delivering it in a consumption model in an as-a-service way. And we are building this off of the best practices that we've created and developed as we have distributed over 1,000 data vaults across the globe. Customers end up with a simple and streamlined way to recover from a cyber recovery attack in an isolated, immutable, and intelligent way. So bringing the pieces of our strategy together, I hope one thing was very clear. We are keenly focused on security and consistency. We know that multi-cloud needs to evolve to by design. And in order to do so, we need to create an underlying set of horizontal services that connect multiple clouds together. And in doing so, we can empower you all, the pioneers of innovation, to drive the next digital breakthrough. Hopefully, we've demonstrated our progress and success to date. And we look forward to continuing to work with each of you as you drive our world forward to the next digital evolutions. Thank you, and appreciate your time this morning.